Hi there, my name is Terry Smith. I'm the owner of Adorable Deco Decor, where we make and sell wreaths and other types of home decor. I also work toward teaching others to make their own designs through my wreath making group. Today is Tuesday, and we're going to be making bows. And I did have a request from Granny of, I think it was Granny of 14, who wanted me to show how to use one directional ribbon on the Easy Bow Maker. And apparently she had some ribbon that said welcome on it and was having trouble trying to figure out. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to take a minute here and get my phone where I can see everybody's comments, and then we'll get started. And I don't know if my Mevo's trying to die or what, but the last few weeks I've had to do it twice every time I try to go live. Hey Marilyn, Judy, how are you guys? And let me get YouTube up and running. Hey Vince, I'm trying to think, what time is it? Good afternoon. I've had a really busy morning already, and I don't even know what time it is. I know, and I had just posted I sent out my text, or no, well, this was before that. I just posted the announcement for my live coming up, which we always do bow making on Tuesdays around 1. And my husband texted me like at 12 and sent an electrician out here to work on something. But luckily it was an easy fix, and he's already here and gone. So, hey Joanne, good afternoon. So where is YouTube? Let's see. I'm not sure why YouTube's not coming up for me. Oh well, we'll have to hope that it connects here shortly. I guess, I don't know. Sometimes technology can be kind of quirky, and it might have been something I did on my end, but if it doesn't show up on YouTube, I will post it. I'll download the video and post it to YouTube. So, hey Sharon, hey Barbara, happy spring. Yes, I hope you've got more spring weather than we do. It's cold here the last few days, and tomorrow it's supposed to warm up, and then it's supposed to start raining and storming. So there's that. But I'm just hoping my flowers didn't get burnt. Hey Verlene, good afternoon to you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started now. Like I said, I had a request to work with one directional ribbon on the Easy Bow Maker, and we're going to use both a horizontal pattern and a vertical pattern, and hopefully that'll help you guys out. But I'm going to scoot you forward and bring you down here, so close your eyes if this kind of thing bothers you. Drop you down here. Good afternoon, Sue. There's Catherine. Thank you guys for being here. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right, so I'm gonna, as usual, I always start out from the beginning because there might be new people here that have not are not familiar with the Easy Bow Maker, and so I always start out first. The first bow, especially, I always do very deliberate and try to go step by step to explain what we're doing. Now today we're going to be, like I said, working with one directional ribbon, both horizontal and vertical, and we're not going to make a big tailed bow. They're just going to be bows without tails, and actually, I've said this before, those seem to be my best sellers for some reason, better than the bows that we make with the long tails. And then two, if you're here, we're going to have a contest again this week. I'll try to do it every now and then, but we'll try to do a contest again today, where if you text a random number between 1, and I'm going to make it 150 this time because nobody won last time. Nobody guessed the number. There were some close calls, but nobody guessed the number. But guess a number between 1 and 150, and if you hit the number, then you'll win a free box of ribbon. Okay, brand new ribbon. So, and that applies to YouTubers too. So if you text that number, then if you guess the right number, then you'll win a box of ribbon. All right, so let's get started. This is the Easy Bow Maker, and our bow is going to be made here in between these pegs right here, these two taller pegs. I get a lot of questions about this peg, what it's for, and I have never used it. It is for little baby bows. So, you know, if you make those, then that might come in handy, but otherwise, I don't use it. This is where your ribbon goes, and as you can see, there are marks here on the Easy Bow Maker to tell you how large your bow loop is going to be, or you can use it to measure your tails also. It goes out to about 8 inches on either side, and it's the whole bow maker is about 20 inches in length. So that comes in handy a lot of times. So I'm going to turn this around, and the first ribbons we're going to use, I'm going to go ahead and use this. It's kind of a rustic Easter ribbon. Has this chenille on it, and I just love that. You guys know that. I always go gaga over it every time I see it. But this is part of a ribbon kit that I had picked out when I was at market last time, and 2 of the ribbons have come in. I haven't got the other ribbons in, but I do have these listed on my bow, or on my Etsy shop at boxmybow.com if you are interested. When I made the kit, I had paired it with this 2.5 inch kind of a argyle plaid hot pink ribbon, and then I also have this Swiss dot in a natural color, 1.5 inch, and then another hot pink. And I got my colors and patterns, I should say, from this. You can see that he has some little dots on him right there, and then of course the colors are pretty simple to pick here. There's just have the natural white and then the pink. So that's how I chose these ribbons to go together. Now last week we were working with the Pro Bow. The Pro Bow, we start with the ribbon that you're going to see first, or on the top of the bow. That's our first ribbon. On the Easy Bow Maker, it's the opposite. We're going to make the bottom layer first, and then build our bow up from that. And I do like that about the Easy Bow Maker, because then you can see your bow being made, and you can make adjustments if you need to. But and there's pros and cons to both of the bow makers. So we're going to put our ribbon on. This is all, like I said, a 2.5 inch canvas ribbon. I always advise wired ribbon. If you're not using wired ribbon, and especially if you're new to bow making, or still not real comfortable making bows, try to pick a decent quality. It doesn't have to be top of the line or designer ribbon, anything like that, but you want to have a nice, good, strong wire, and then a decent body in your in the actual fabric. Now, one hint here too, sometimes we're buying ribbon online and we can't feel of it, and I don't like to do that, but sometimes we have to. And a lot of the bow places will either have the ribbon kind of curled like this, and it'll kind of show you how strong the wire or the fabric is. But if they don't do that, another tip too would be, if you look and see, this one's got a fair amount of glitter and paint going across it. That's going to help your body. So if you've got a heavily glittered ribbon, a lot of times you can say that it's probably going to be a good ribbon. Okay, it's not 100%, but that's just kind of a rule of thumb if you kind of think about it, because that that paint and that glitter dries kind of firm, and that'll help with giving you a stronger bodied ribbon. Okay, so we're going to put this on the bow maker. We're going to again put the ribbon over here, and I like to put it to where the ribbon is going up and away from me, and it just keeps everything out of my way. And as you can see, there's a good side and a bad side to this ribbon. Okay, it's just one-sided ribbon. And we're going to start out. I want to make this, it's going to be about a 5-inch bow. Okay, and then the tails, I don't want them any longer than about 6 inches. Now, they won't all be that long, but that's how I'm going to start out. But I'm going to come over here. I'm going to measure 6 inches. Let me zoom in here. I'm going to measure over here to 6 inches. Right here's the center of my bow. Okay, I feel like I'm a little bit crooked. Let me Straighten you guys out. That's worse. Let me see here. There we go. All right, so we're over here about 6 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and dovetail this. To do that, I'm going to fold both of the wired edges together. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut them at an angle. Okay? And when I open that up, it's going to give a nice finished edge to my ribbon. Okay? All right, now, again, I'm going to come over here to my 6 inches. I'm going to put my thumb here. Now, I'm going to take this good side of the ribbon and I'm going to turn it away from me. Put it down vertically down these pegs. Twist it as I go down. And what that's going to do, that's going to keep the good side of the ribbon up. And then when I bring this ribbon around, then the good side's going to be on this side. If I didn't twist it, then we'd be looking at this side, and we want the good side to be on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 loops on either side of this ribbon, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But I'm going to come over here. I've measured 5 inches. I'm going to put my thumb there. I'm going to take this down vertically. Good side's going away from me. All right, then I can bring it down, and I'm going to twist it, push it down. I'm just going to keep repeating the process. I'm going to get this tail up here. I'm going to come over here to 5 inches again. Good side's gone away from me. Right there. And I'm going to twist it as it goes down. And do the same thing. Now I've already got a bow loop over here, so I can just use that as a reference as far as the size. So I'm going to take it vertically down. Good side's away from me. Just come over here and just kind of compare it to the other one. Twist it, push it down. Now this side, this is the last bow loop on this ribbon, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to measure out my ribbon. I don't have to twist it because I'm not going to be making another loop. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to pinch it. Okay, sit that right down there, push it down. And then I've got my tail over here. I'm going to measure about 6 inches. I'm going to go ahead and dovetail it. Put the wired edges together and cut at an angle. Trying to get that off of there. Oh, come here. There we go. Okay, and I like to put my tails opposite of each other. So if I've got one going up this way, I'm going to bring it the other way here. And let's go ahead and spread these out. Make it nice and pretty. Okay, so we've got our first level made. And one thing I forgot to tell you guys when I very first started, now when I'm making a bow, I usually don't look up at the camera until I'm done to answer questions. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm happy to go back and answer after I get this bow made. But if you know me, you know I get distracted very, very easily. All right, so let's go open up this. Now, this is what we call horizontal one-directional ribbon. I know for the longest time I thought it was the opposite, but they call it horizontal depending on how it aligns with the wire. So if the pattern goes parallel to the wire, then it is horizontal. Okay, now I've got vertical one-directional ribbon that we're going to be using next. So now this one, as I said, we're going to be using the one-directional, and I treat both of them different. Let me go ahead and dovetail this and I'll explain what I mean. But on the one-directional horizontal, I do it this way. On the one-directional vertical, I do it a different way that's easier, so I'll show you that. And I have a feeling that with the welcome ribbon we were talking about earlier, I think that was probably the vertical horizontal. All right, now we can't make this the traditional way because if we twist it, then everything's going to be upside down. I'm going to make the pattern where I'm looking at it upright. I'll turn it around for you, though, but it's too confusing to try and do it upside down. It's a little bit confusing anyway. But what I'm going to do, we're really going to make this bow outside of the bow maker. So I've gone ahead and dovetailed it. my pattern is facing the right way for me, okay? So I know it's right side up for you right now, but anyway, so let's come over here. Let's measure this 6. You know what? I want to bring it down just a little bit because I'd rather have that whole bunny showing. So I'm going to cut this off probably about there rather than just having a part of the bunny showing, because this one will probably be hidden right here. So I'm going to come down here a little bit. Not where I'm going to cut that bunny in half, but all right, now there's my tail. I'm going to put this, oh, wait a minute. I started to go ahead and start like we normally do. We can't do that. So I'm going to come over here. I want this bow loop also to be about 5 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just measure it right here. So I'm just making a loop is all I'm doing. I'm measuring it right here. I'm just going to pinch it. And then I'm going to sit it down in there. All right, now I'm going to bring this other one. Let's just bring that tail over there. And just bring this right straight through here. I'm going to measure it for my 5 inches. I might have to move those tails, the ribbon tails a different direction here on those solid ribbon. All right, let's sit that down there like that. Come over here. I'm going to measure off about 6 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and dovetail that too while we're at it. And I'll come back here and rearrange these loops again also later, but all right, so now we've got the bunnies. Let's go ahead and trim this off. Now, when I'm looking at that, now my bunnies are going to be right side up. Now, this isn't as important if you're making a bow. I've got to tuck these under. If you're making a bow that doesn't have long tails, you got a little bit more leeway, because there could be the argument, well, which, is it right side up, wrong side up, what? But if they have the tails, you definitely need to do it. Some people it doesn't bother. Some of us, once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on the other to make the bow go this way, only we're going to do it opposite. Now I'm going to go ahead and dovetail. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get my tail over about 6 inches. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to make that loop. So we've got the loop about the same size as the other ones. All right, I'm going to pinch it. We're going to sit it down in there. Try and get these untangled. Then we're going to just bring this right over the top. Pinch it. Measure my bow loop, my bow loop, push it down, and then I'm going to measure off my tail. Okay, and let's cut it in a dovetail. Okay, get that out of the way. Now we'll arrange our bunnies the way we want them. Now, I said I was going to explain why I did 2 and 2 also. And once I get this out of the maker, this tail will be able to sit up there a little straighter, and same down here. But I did 2 and 2 because on this type of bow, I like it to be a nice round circle. Whereas if I make a bow with the tails, a lot of times there's kind of a gap up here and a gap down here. I wanted to be able to complete this circle with this bow. It's just my preference, and that's why I did it this way. Now, the other ribbons, we'll go back and I was going to show you. See, now all the bunnies are facing the right direction. Well, this one will once the tail's up where it needs to go. All right, now let's go ahead and finish this bow up. And what did I do with my other ribbon? Here it is. For this one, I'm going to just do one. Now, this is Du Peony ribbon, and I don't know if you can see, but it does want to fray. Now, you could go ahead and dovetail this the traditional way and singe it. Just take a lighter and singe it. You got to be careful if you're doing that. But I prefer just to cut it at an angle, and then a lot of times I'll go back and singe it. But again, be careful if you do that, because that can get out of your hands really quick. All right, I'm just going to make about a 5.5 inch tail this time. I'm going to take it down. There's really not a right or wrong side with this one, but I still like to treat it the same way. All right, I'm going to bring it down, twist it, push it down. I'm just going to do one bow loop on either side over here, and you can see my pegs are kind of splaying apart. Now I like to put my, at this point I can't see my marks or my measurements, so what I like to do, I'm going to make this bow loop about 4 inches. What I like to do is line up my grid on my, with the measurements on my ruler here. I like to line it up with my grid on my cutting mat that I'm working on. And so right here's 5 inches, so I'm going to come over here, and about right there is 4 inches. So it just makes it a little bit easier. You can go ahead and move them out of the way if you want, the bow loops, but I just find it easier to do it that way. All right, now this one I'm going to pinch, push it down, turn it off. Let's go ahead and cut it at an angle. Fluff that out. Get one of them going this way, one of them coming down this way. And again, once we get it out of the maker, we're gonna rearrange it anyway. So it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. All right, let's get this Swiss dot, and this one I'm going to do 2 loops of each on each side. And again, there's no pattern to it that's directional, so we'll just make it the same way that we did the last one. All right, let's go ahead and dovetail. Cut it at an angle. All right, and let's come over here about 5 inches or so. You can trim them after also, which I do that a lot. All right, right side's going away from us. Make our loop, and I'm going to make this. You can either make it the same as the hot pink solid, or you can make it a little bit smaller. I think I'm going to go just a little bit smaller, maybe 3.5 inches. So let's twist it. I like to try to kind of close up the center of my bows. Kind of draw your eye toward the center of it, if that makes sense. We're just repeating the process. Measure against this other loop, good sides away from me, twist it, push it down. Now this one's the last loop, so we don't have to twist it. All right, push that down. Now let's trim this off, and we'll go ahead and dovetail it. Now this is one of the faults of the Easy Bow Maker. I know the new ones, the tail or the pegs are a little bit tighter, but like for example this, the more ribbon I get in there, the farther it's splaying apart, and I don't know, it makes it, then the latter ribbons, it's hard to keep the bow loops even, if that makes sense. All right, so we got all those in there. Now let's go ahead. We've got to get this off of the bow maker. And for that, I'm going to make to secure all this, I'm going to use a zip tie. And you could use a pipe cleaner or floral wire if you like. I just found it's easier to use a zip tie with this much ribbon especially. But whenever I put this under here, I'm going to put it diagonally across here, and that helps me keep the bow loops even. If I set it off to the side, I find myself one size bigger than the other. So I always do it this way. And we're going to go down underneath all this ribbon. Now make sure when you lift this off of here, you got all the ribbon off of that board down there. All right, and I try to remember to look. Now I'm going to put make sure this knob, see the knob there? I'm going to make sure that knob is pointing toward my feet as I do this. And then it's going to be closing the correct way. But I bring this around. You got a lot of ribbon in there. That chenille ribbon is really bulky. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cinch it down lightly. Not tight, but just lightly. Now I'm going to lift it off of the board here. Now I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit more, just to where it's a little bit, reasonably secure. Okay, and that's going to allow me to go ahead and now I'm going to arrange all my loops. Remembering that this is going to be the right side of the ribbon, or the right side of the bow. So you guys right now are looking at it wrong side up. And be careful when you're pulling on this ribbon that you don't pull out part of it, because you can manhandle it, but you got to watch that you don't pull it out. You can adjust your ribbons at this point, your bow loops. Like this one, to me, this bow loop looks a little bit long compared. Okay, I've got to find where my other end is here. I'm just going to pull it in. There we go. So I just adjusted that just a little bit. Take all these and trying to distribute all the colors. Like I said, we got a lot of ribbon on this bow. Let's see, I want that over there. What am I doing? And when I'm fluffing these bows, I'm putting my fingers on the inside of the bow loops. I'm not just pulling and tugging on them from the end. I'm actually getting in there. I'm opening these up. Okay, I'm thinking this bottom levels, or the bottom two layers there, look pretty good. So now let's move up to the center. And I want to be sure that the single hot pink there is in between the two loops on either side. I want it to split up and split up that color there. And just keep fussing with it until you like the way it looks. Bring that up to the top. This down to the bottom. And I can already tell I want to drop my, trim my hot pink down a little bit. I'm going to cut that at an angle. I still probably got this one a little bit long. There we go. Now, once we're happy with it, I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to take my zip tie, or my pipe cleaner. Trying to get this turned all the way around there so it'll lay right. And I'm going to slide that right underneath this zip tie. And I'm going to go ahead and cinch it down. Oh, and I just remember I've got my, hang on, let me get my wire cutters here. Okay, and we'll turn this over. Now, if I were using this on a wreath, I wouldn't do this step because I usually end up where you can't see the center of the bow. But I'll be selling this bow, posting it for sale. And so I don't know what my customer is going to need it for. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that zip tie. And I think the pink, would be the best color, the hot pink. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this ribbon, I'm going to cut it up lengthwise, and I'm going to cut it up probably about 8, 9, 10 inches. You do not want to short yourself on this because if you do, it's just too hard to manage. And I usually end up shorting myself. And I can't get my fingers to work right. Alright, so let's go ahead and trim off part of that. So I've got half of a 1.5 inch ribbon. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this raw edge and I'm going to fold it under. So we've got our ribbon folded in half now. And I don't want that raw cut edge to be showing, so I try to put it right inside of that wire. If you can see that. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it right over that zip tie. Make sure when you do this part that you have all the ribbons on the right side, meaning that, you know, it's straddling right over that zip tie, not where you got a tail on the wrong side, which I've done that before. That's why I was telling you. All right, so then we'll turn it back over. Okay, so we have a nice little rustic Easter bow. There he is, right side up for you. All right, I'm going to go through and I'm going to see if I have any questions. Hi, Teresa. Hey, Lourdes, Mildred, Rosemary. Hey, Susan. Oh, thank you for the hearts, you guys. All right, I do not see any questions. And if you're just tuning in here, also know that we're running a contest again today. If you want to text a number between, what did I say, 1 and 150 this time? 1 and 150. Whoever guesses the number is going to get a box of free ribbon. You text the number to 1-812-289-6187. And if you forget the number, it's written up above too. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and now we're going to play with vertical one directional ribbon. And this one is easier to me. Get all this out of the way. And you may have already seen this ribbon. I think I used it a few weeks ago, but it was the only one directional vertical ribbon that I had. And I think this is going to be the one that the person who requested this ribbon had asked me about with a welcome. Okay, I saw a question. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. I saw a question. I missed it. Where'd it go? Not sure where it went to. Okay. All right, and just know if I don't see your question, if I don't answer your question, it's because I didn't see it. So if I don't answer it, go ahead and ask it again, because I saw one run across the screen and then it's gone. Okay, let's go ahead, and again, we're going to put the ribbon on, coming off and away from me. I'm going to go ahead and dovetail it. And that's just cutting it, folding it in half and cutting it at an angle. And I'm going to do the same kind of bow, not as many layers and not as many loops. But actually I'm missing one. There it is. Okay, so we're going to do the 6-inch tail, and I'm going to go faster this time. So if you need more thorough instruction, then you know, the first one would be probably a little bit more. And I also have more of this kind of one directional ribbon in other videos. Oh, Sharon. Okay, so Sue got your question. Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead, and we've got a 6-inch tail here. We're going to twist it, make a 5-inch loop. We're going to twist it, push it down, 5-inch loop, twist it, push it down. And again, the good side is facing away from me. I just repeat that process till the last loop. Now I don't have to twist it. I'm going to pinch it. Now at this point too, I try to make sure I've got my edges tucked down, and that's going to make a prettier pleat here on the top of the bow. Push that down. Come over here about 6 inches. Let's go ahead and dovetail it. Just go ahead and spread out your bow loops if you'd like. All right, now let's go ahead and we're going to use the other. Again, this is vertical one directional ribbon, and again, it's the opposite of what you think, but it depends on if it's parallel or vertical to the line here, to the ribbon. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to dovetail this. Now this one we can make just like we normally do, and I'm going to show you why here in a minute. But let's make our tail about 6 inches. We're going to make 2 loops. Good side's going to go away. Going to twist it, push it down. Whoops, I missed the peg there. All right, now this one's going to be upside down. Again, I'm making it with the correct direction toward me, but I'm going to make this one, see how it's upside down? It's right side up for you guys. It's upside down for me. I'm going to make this bow loop just a hair larger, maybe an 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, just to account for what we're going to do here. All right, I'm going to take it, I'm going to twist it, push it down. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to, again, I'm using my mat because I can't see, or I could have used my other loops. I should have probably left those there. All right, bring it down, pattern sides away, twist it, push it down, and again, I'll just use this other bow loop. I'm going to twist it, push it down. Like I said, this type of one directional ribbon is a lot easier to me. All right, now we're going to pinch it, make sure our edges are curled under. Push it down. Let's go ahead and trim it. Cut it at an angle. Fold our ribbon in half. Wired side together. Cut it at an angle. Dovetail it. All right, now, as you can see, to you guys and to myself, half of the ribbon is upside down, half of it is right side up. And to fix this, with this type of one directional ribbon, all I do, now this might not be the way people do it otherwise, but this is what I do. I just take that and I twist it. That's why I made it just a little bit larger on that side, so that when I twisted it, that the bow loops are about the same length. Okay, isn't that easier? Now it doesn't work for the other type of, the other horizontal one directional. It doesn't work. But for the vertical, it sure does. So let's bring that down there. Okay, and let me turn it around for you. See, now all of them are going the right direction. And if I don't have any welcome ribbon, but if that's what you're using, then it'd be the same. Same deal. All right, let's go ahead and finish this up. And I'm going to bring in this orange. And again, I've got these two ribbons in my shop at boxmybow.com. The other two ribbons I did not get in yet. Now, I already used this for the center of a bow before, so I'm just going to use that again this time. That'd have been the color I'd picked anyway. All right, let's go ahead and fold this in half. We're going to dovetail it. We're going to do one loop on either side. And my tail's going to be a little shorter. Let's make it about 5 inches. Put it down here, twist, push it down. I'll make this about 4.5 inches. Same thing, we don't have to twist it. Pinch it, put it down. Let's go ahead and trim that off and dovetail it. Trying to tuck that and make sure it's all going the right direction. Now let's go ahead. I've got a black gingham, 1.5 inch, and we're going to put 2 loops on either side of this one. Let's go ahead and dovetail it. Now here, just a little bit farther. Twist, push it down. I'm going to bring this in about 1/2 inch. So it'll be about probably 4 inches. Push it down. I'm going to make 2 loops on either side of this one. And notice I've got to hold it down here with my fingers, trying to make that where it doesn't all fall up, especially this gingham. The gingham ribbon here is not really great bodied ribbon. It's just a little bit thin. It's still pretty, but it's just a little bit thin. Go ahead and dovetail. And see, when I didn't have my finger on there, then it's popping up here and getting out of order. All right, let's get these separated there. And I always like, when I've got a single like this, I'm wanting to separate out these 2 patterned ribbons, just so that kind of highlights the other ribbons. All right, now I'm going to get that zip tie, and remember, I'm going to go diagonally underneath all the ribbon. I'm going to make sure the knob is pointing down toward my feet. Come over across diagonally. Cinch it down lightly. Whoops. I was saying the other day, some of my zip ties I got in, they're really difficult to cinch down for some reason, and sometimes I have to use my pliers to grab a hold of it. And this one's kind of a medium. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, let's go ahead, and I can always already tell that bow loop's too big, but we'll start at the bottom. Get everything spread out the way I want it. I try to have my tails opposite, no matter which ribbon it is, but, you know, again, we'll be rearranging that even after I get it all said and done. This type of ribbon, or I'm sorry, this type of bow, I really prefer to do this style on the Pro bow, just because it's a little bit easier to make it a nice round circle, I think. That's just my opinion. And see that I shortened up that one bow loop that I thought was a little bit tight, or a little bit long, I mean. All right, now I'm going to flip it over. Get my pipe cleaner, stick it underneath of the zip tie. And tighten it down. All right, trim that off. We're going to get our orange and cover up that zip tie there. Fold it in half, and see this time, this one is, well, that's 10 inches. Boy, it seems like it's shorter than that. But I fold it in half, get that raw edge tucked under. Now I'm going to take it over that zip tie. I'm going to make sure I find all my tails, make sure they're going in the right direction. Yeah, I think the 10 inches is long enough. It just seemed like it looked shorter than that to me for some reason. Okay. Just tie that in just a regular knot. Then we trim off the edges. Flip it back over. Get everything fluffed. And at this point, then, if I need to trim any tails, like here, then I'll go ahead and do that. And again, I'm putting my fingers in the bow. I'm bringing it and just opening it up, fluffing those up. All right, let's trim these tails right here. I don't want it completely hiding that orange. This one here might be a little bit long too. And there we have it. I like the colors in this one. This one really pops. Okay, I'm going to go back through and see if there's any questions I missed. Hey, Pauline. There's another Susan. Connie's wanting to know, do I ever make a small center loop to cover the zip tie instead of a ribbon folded in half? Yeah, I do some. Not too often in this style of bow, but yeah, I do. I always do whenever I'm using the Easy Bow Maker. And I do end up, or not the Easy Bow Maker, the Pro Bow. I'm going to raise you guys up so I can talk to you. Okay, but yeah, it's just easier for me to do the, covering the zip tie this way than making that loop. So yeah, you can do either. All right, I saw another question. Did we ever get live on YouTube? No. I wonder what happened. It's probably operator error, I imagine. Hey, Phyllis, how are you? I saw another question. Now it's gone. It said something about Pro Bow, but I missed it. Yeah, the ribbon folded does look nice. The only thing I don't like about that is if you don't have it real thin, like I said, I like to have my bows this style where they're a completely round circle. And sometimes if you've got your center too large, it'll make a bigger gap up here. But yeah, I like it. I think it looks finished and professional. All right, I saw another question and it's not showing me. Come on, Facebook. Why do you do that? All right, somebody had a question about Pro Bow and one directional ribbon, but it is not. I saw it go across my iPad, but then it didn't show up here where I could read it. That's all I saw. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you so much. And make sure you guys get in for the contest. As I said, try to guess a number between 1 and 150, and you text it to the number that's up in the description of this live. The number is 1-812-289-6187, and if you text that number, then if you guess the number, then you'll win a box of ribbon. So, hey Sue, thank you. Did you get all your stuff unloaded? Mine's still sitting as it is. I had a wonderful day yesterday. Sue came up. We had split a wholesale order. She came up and we spent the afternoon together. It really is a sweet time. I really enjoyed it. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Thank you. All right, I still don't see that question, so if I missed it, just post it, and I'll try to keep an eye out for it. And again, I apologize for not getting there on YouTube. For some reason, it's not showing up, so I don't know if it just didn't happen, or if it didn't, then I will download this video and post it there. So. I'm going to try something here. Oh, thank you, Susan. Okay, Barbara, there you are. Oh, your goodies are still in the car, Sue. All right, if using one directional ribbon on Pro Bow, do you still follow the same direction or same procedure? Yes, if it's the vertical one directional. It will not work on the horizontal one directional, if that makes sense. And remember, they're the opposite of what you think they are. This to me always was horizontal one directional, but it's not. That's not the correct. It's that you think about it the opposite, that they called this is vertical one directional. I always thought it was the opposite, but it's not. But yes, the twisting will work on this one directional ribbon. It will not on the other. I hope that helps. Thank you guys so much. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. And as I said, if you want to guess a number between 1 and 150, text it to that number up in the description of this live. Then there's a chance you can win a box of ribbon. And let's see, what else? Oh, and as I said, we've got some of the ribbon is available in my shop at boxmybow.com, and there's a variety of others too, and I've got some more that I need to get listed. And now, I had also said that I'm going to be live at 10 o'clock on Friday. My husband made an appointment with the accountant at 9 o'clock on Friday, so there's no way I'll be done and be able to get back here by 10 o'clock. So once I get done, I might change it to Thursday, I don't know, but I will for sure. If you're on my text list, you'll be notified, and I'll try to post as soon as I know what I'm doing when I'll go live next, okay? All right, thank you guys so much for being here. I always appreciate it. Stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.